Alana, welcome back to Us Weekly.
Thank you.
It's so good to see you.
Good to see you.
Congratulations
Thank you.
on this movie.
Thank
It
you so
is,
much.
you know, it's very moving. It's very emotional. It's sometimes hard to watch.
Yeah, it was definitely hard to go through and like just reminisce on everything I've been through. It was very hard, but also empowering just because like to see where I was so long ago and to see where I am now is very much a difference, and very proud of where I am now.
As you should be. I mean, do you look back at that person and you're like, I don't even recognize who that was at some points?
I mean, some points it is. Like,
Sure.
I'm like, I was really like that little pageant girl. Like, I really was. There is times I look at it like that, but most of the time I'm like, I did that, and I'm like, oh, I remember doing that. I don't remember every little detail, but I remember most of it.
Yeah. Why was now the right time to do this and tell the story in your own words?
I mean, I think, like I've been telling everybody else, I think it's just because everybody thinks they know me in a way that they actually don't. So I thought now would just be a perfect time to just tell my story in my voice. And I think it's going to be great.
It is, and it's wonderful. And I was just telling you before we started rolling, I love the way that you did this too with, you know, this, it's a movie and then it also a narration from you, which I think is so great. Were you closely involved in who to play you, the actresses and things like that, working with them to get mannerisms right, accents right?
I wasn't involved in that process, but I do think, like, whoever was, they did a great job. I feel like the people sounded just like us. Of course, they wasn't our identical twins or nothing, but I feel like people got the gist of who is who, and, like, you could tell. So I feel like they did great, even though I didn't have a part in it. And honestly, I'm kind of glad I didn't. I'm very indecisive, and I'd be like, yeah, I don't know about her yet. So I'm kind of glad that like they handled that for me.
Sure. Have you spoken to the actress that played you at all?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I think it'd be cool, but they filmed in the UK, so
Got it.
It was different times, and it was kind of hard just because like everybody was on a different time zone.
Yeah, no, definitely. What are you hoping is the biggest maybe misconception about you that this film clears up?
I think a lot of people just still see me as like the little 6-year-old little girl, and I'm hoping that this film can like now let people see me in like a more grown and mature version of me. And I'm 19 now, I'm not 6 anymore,
Right.
so I'm hoping that this movie will change people's perspective on me for sure.
You know, you've had some very high highs and low lows.
For sure.
What was the hardest thing for you to relive, to narrate, to kind of, you know, put yourself back in that mindset?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing was probably like just going through my mom's drug addiction, just because that was a really hard time for me, and I was trying to transition into high school, and like there was just so much going on in my life at that time, plus my like everything my mom was doing on top of that was very hard for me. So that was probably one of the hardest things to just revisit, but in a way I think it kind of brought me closure, just because like being able to finally just say it out loud kind of just let it get off my chest a little bit, and in a way it was like closure for sure.
That's good. So you feel like you can kind of put that chapter behind you and put it in the past?
For sure.
Definitely. Well, the movie kind of starts out when you're just getting started, getting started into pageants and things like that. But what was your family like before cameras came into your life?
I mean, I feel like we were a pretty normal family.
Yeah.
Like, my dad worked, my mom stayed at home with us, made sure we had our homework done, made sure dinner was cooked. I mean, we were pretty normal, I feel like.
Yeah.
Just like the everyday family.
Just like the everyday family.
Yeah.
But then once cameras fame came in, everything kind of changed.
Yeah, it definitely did change. I feel like the cameras maybe brought the family like further apart in a way, just because like my dad wasn't a big fan of it, so like he didn't really agree with it, and like my mom loved it, so it was like their outlooks were completely different, and I think that had a little bit to do with like their breaking up and like falling out and everything.
Yeah, you know, a scene that really kind of stuck me was the car accident that you were involved in with your family, and how you weren't sure if that was maybe intentional.
Yeah,
Is that right?
There was just times when like my dad, he would just get super angry, and he let his anger issues just get the best of him. So you never really knew like when he was angry what would happen. It was just always up in the air. There was times he would like just rip his clothes off, or like just throw things or punch walls, and it was just a little scary because you never know what could happen when he got angry.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's really scary.
For sure.
Do you ever, what's your relationship like with him? Do you have any sort of...
I don't talk to him at all. I
Okay.
haven't talked to him in a very long time. Like, I can't even tell you the last time I talked to him. That's how long it's been.
That's how long it's been. But it was important for you to include this because this is part of your story.
It was. And I mean, there was a lot of things that my father did that I didn't include in this story, just because it was just very hard for me to just look back on that. So I was like, I would just rather not. So I just didn't even include it.
Yeah. Do you feel like you have gotten closure on that relationship too? That we were talking about that?
I've kind of gotten closure, and I feel like in a way I just kind of push it to the side. And I'm just like, it's okay. I mean, he's never fully been there for me, and like I need him to be. So I'm at the point of now, I'm just like, he's never going to be there for me. So
it's kind of at a point of acceptance.
Just accept it.
Definitely, yeah. Well, we go back to these pageant days, and it seems like this was such a special time for you and your mom. And this is when you really connected and bonded, and like this is when it was really fun for the two of you, right?
We had a great time during the pageants. I mean, it was just a really good bonding moment for us. Like, I loved it, she loved it. Just great, honestly. Like, we were always together. She would come to every rehearsal. She would make sure she was there, like when I was getting my hair, my makeup, everything. Like, she was there.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the go-go drink now?
Honestly, somebody asked me this the other day, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I've used a go-go juice to get through college.
Okay.
I still drink it to this day. It's probably not the healthiest thing, but I'm like, when I need a little pick-me-up and I'm just like not feeling it today, I'm like, I'm gonna go get a go-go juice.
So it's still a part of your life.
It's still a part of my life. I drink it. And I mean, I'm not gonna say I drink it all the time, but I do drink it.
Right. Oh my God, too funny. And then you get the call that you are going to be on Toddlers and Tiaras, and the Honey Boo Boo is born.
Yeah.
Do you ever go back and kind of watch that clip of when you said it the first time?
I don't go back as much as I used to.
Okay.
Like, when I was like 16, 17, I used to go back a lot for some reason. I don't know. I guess maybe it was just possibly reminiscent on the old times, because that was when my mom was really bad in addiction. But I do still see clips. It's all over. People are still posting that exact same clip to this day. And they're like, oh my God, the day Honey Boo Boo was born. And I think it's just probably like one of my most iconic lines.
It is.
Like, that was me. That's when I was literally born. Like, Honey Boo Boo come to life that day.
Right, but you still say, you're 19 years old and people still see you as that 6-year-old.
Yeah.
It's so hard still to kind of disassociate yourself from that part of your life.
It is hard, just because, like I said, people just see me as that little girl, and it's like, now that I live with Draylon and I'm in Colorado on my own and everything, everybody's like, no, like, she shouldn't be doing that. Like, she's not old enough for that yet. And I'm like, guys, I'm 19, fixing to be 20. Like,
right?
I think it's time for me to, like, finally grow up and, like, be out on my own. And it's just like, I don't know, people have just watched me for so long, and I just think everybody just loves that little 6-year-old girl. So it's like, nobody can just leave it alone.
Nobody can leave it alone. Nobody can. But you were an adult doing wonderful things.
Yeah.
No, it's time to leave it in the past.
Yeah, it's time to put it behind us.
Yes, but a lot of things changed for you when Honey Boo Boo was canceled.
Yes.
It kind of seems like the life just that you knew kind of flipped on its head.
Yeah.
And when did you start noticing that shift?
I think it was really like, I don't know if I'm being honest. I think it was just really when the show had got canceled. I like noticed that like it was just different, because like we were just been filming and the cameras were there like almost every day, and it's like when we woke up it was like that's what we did. It was almost like our job. Yeah. So like it was just when the cameras got like canceled and everything got canceled, it was very weird. It was just like, and I didn't really understand why it got canceled, if I'm being honest. I was still young and naive at that time, so I just thought in my head like, oh, it just like got canceled. They didn't like, I guess the views dropped or something,
Right.
I wasn't thinking of like what really happened.
Sure, and I'm sure probably in a way maybe you blamed yourself, because it wasn't your fault by any means, but like it seemed like you had such a complicated relationship with your mom where you just wanted to please her and just wanted to, make sure that she was happy.
Yeah,
it seemed
and that's
like.
kind of how it was. It was like you just wanted to keep her happy, and as long as she was happy, I was happy.
Right, yeah, no, that had to be a lot for a young girl to shoulder.
Yeah, for sure. It was a lot, but we got through it.
Yeah, you got through
and
it.
now look at me.
And now look at you. You're thriving. You're doing so great. And college is great. Draylon is great.
Yeah, everybody's great. I'm at a really good point in my life right now.
Good. Yeah. No, you say at the end of the film that like this is the most free that you've ever felt. And you definitely feel that way.
Yeah, I feel like it's so true. Like I feel like I'm not held down by what mama's doing back home. I'm like in Colorado, I'm free. I don't have to worry about like the drama back home if I don't have to. Like I don't have to pick up the phone if I don't want to. I can just ignore them if I want. So I do feel free, and I'm doing college, and me and Draylon are doing really good, and just life is going so good for me right now.
Good for you. That is so great. You know, a time in this movie that you did decide to go back to was Dancing with the Stars, and how that was such a fun experience for you, and you had such a nice relationship and friendship with Tristan. Why was it important for you to include that?
I think it was important for me to include that just because, like, I did have a really good time. Genuinely, I had a great time. When anybody asked me about Dance with the Stars, I'm like, if you have the opportunity to do it, please do it. I beg you. It was just a great show. And I also, like, added it because it was a very happy moment in my life. And I didn't want the movie to be all sad and all like, oh, this is just what's happened. So I made sure to, like, throw in some happy moments for sure.
What's your friendship like with Tristan now? I know you say in the movie that you didn't talk to him, but I did see that he was commenting on some of your Instagram posts and things like that.
We haven't talked in a while. I think it's also just because, like, he lives in Canada and, like, we have two completely different lives. So, like, we have not talked in a while, but I mean, it's no hate. All love for him, you know, like, he was a great partner, and I mean, I wouldn't have had it any other way.
No, definitely. But I'm glad that you included that because it seemed like it was such a fun time for you.
Yeah, it
really was.
It was honestly such a great time for me. Like, if they gave me the opportunity right now, I would drop everything and be like, yes, I'm
Would you go back for like an all-star?
Yeah, I definitely would.
Definitely would. I love that so much. You know, then, you know, you pick back up. We go back from Mama June Not to Hot. And you said that show actually kind of, you know, gave you some, like, maybe some body image issues, correct, right? Talk to me a little bit about that.
I just think that was just mainly because my mom was going from, like, not to hot. And my mom, she was a bigger girl, and I've always been a bigger girl myself, too. And just to see my mom go from, like, 300 pounds to 100 pounds was, like, a shock to me just because it's, like, am I gonna have to do that one day because I'm a bigger girl? Like, is like people not gonna love me until I get surgery, or I'm like this thin, pretty little girl? So it was very hard on me, but after a while, I noticed that, like, either way, my mom was still getting shown love. So I was like, I mean, she's still getting shown love. So, like,
Do you feel completely confident in yourself?
I do feel confident. I mean, there's obviously days, then I think every woman has it. Like,
Everybody
there's days I'm like, but. For the most part, I'm very confident in myself and what I wear, and I'm kind of just like, who gives a damn?
No, exactly. Who gives a damn? As long as you're happy, that is all that matters.
Feel like, and a lot of people are like, they look at bigger girls and they're like, oh, they're not healthy. But, like, I feel like healthy bodies come in all different shapes and sizes.
1000%.
So, like, I'm completely healthy. I may be a little bit bigger, but I'm completely healthy.
Good for you. I love that. I love that. You know, we talked earlier before and, you know, about the most sensitive parts of this movie. And obviously the drug use with your mom. When did you kind of notice that things were changing with her? And I wonder if the movie depicts it, because I know you said you didn't see the scenes, but there is a scene where you kind of walk in and see her for the first time. Is that kind of what happened?
No, not really. It was kind of more of like, I just noticed her locking her door, and when she locked her bedroom door, it threw me off, but when she started locking her bedroom and bathroom door, that threw me off even more, because my mom has always had, like, an open door policy, and, like, we can come in and talk about anything to her, and it's like when she started locking her door, that threw me off because she's never done that ever in her life. Like, even when she goes to sleep, like, her door is never locked. So that was for sure was like a trigger for me.
Sure, yeah, definitely. And I know that in the film, and I know that you spoke about it as well, there was some times that you had no food in your home.
Yeah, I mean, there was food. I mean, there was never, like, a point where I was, like, hungry to the point of, like, oh, my God, like, there's nothing here to eat. But I'm just saying, like, there wasn't many home-cooked meals. And when she got really bad in her addiction, like, there wasn't home-cooked meals. I had to figure it out on my own, or I was eating a bowl of cereal or noodles or whatever it was that I could cook at that time.
You know, there is a really hard scene to watch in the movie, too, where you go down to your home in Georgia after she kind of sold everything. I don't know if, like, this is exactly how it happens as well, too, because obviously it's a movie and you gotta traumatize things.
And I mean, there was, like, some details while taking this movie, like, I just couldn't remember. I was like, it's so long ago. It's like, we have to, like, kind of make it seem like it, but so for the most part, like, everything you watch in the movie is exactly how it happened, except maybe, like, little bits of details.
Yeah, no, definitely. How do you feel like your mom is going to feel once she watches this?
Honestly, I don't know how she's going to feel. I hope that she's not mad, because I did make it very well known to Lifetime that I didn't want her to be, like, a villain in this movie. I didn't want to make her out to be a bad guy. I did want to make sure I told my truth to the most truthful I could have told it, but I didn't want to make her into a bad guy. So I tried to tell it in a way of, like, not just, like, jabbing at my mom the whole time, but it was kind of hard because I mean she has done a lot wrong, and now we're at a really good spot. Like right now we're at probably the best spot we've ever been in our relationship in a very long time. So I am very proud of how far she's come.
Yeah, what do you credit that to?
I think I credit it to just like her motivation for sure, and I also think I credit a little bit to Justin.
Okay, yeah.
I think last time we were here we talked about how good Justin is for her, and I just think like Justin holds her accountable, and I don't know, he's just such a good man for her. Like, my mom actually found a good man for once, and that was a shocker for me because, like, nobody my mom's ever really dated has been a good man for her.
Right.
So Justin's great. We love him, and I think he definitely keeps her head on a swivel.
Good.
For sure.
Well, we see in the movie, too, that he was, you know, kind of instrumental in, you know, or maybe making your mom realize, especially when it came to the money issues with you. Is that true?
I do feel like he was very more understanding than my mom could have ever been with the money stuff. He literally told my mom, he was like, yeah, that is messed up. Like, you took her money. Like, at the end of the day, that's what you did, and now you gotta take the consequences and accept it, and now you're gonna have to pay her back. I can say Justin was not letting her go down without a fight.
Yeah, right. Where do you kind of stand in that? Is she paying you back? How does
for right now, she did pay me back, and I mean, like I said, we're in a really good spot right now. She's been sober for like 3 or 4 years. Awesome. I mean, like, honestly, like, I can't put into words how good of a spot we're in right now. Like, it's just perfect. We don't talk every single day, but we do make sure to communicate with each other. Like, yesterday I went and seen Mario Lopez, and I had to send her a video because if you know my mama, if you know my mama, so we are in a really good spot right now.
Good. How often do the two of you speak? And
I would say we speak at least like every other day, if not every day. Like, we have a group chat, and she literally will send paragraphs after paragraphs in there about God knows what, and we all know my mama's blind, so half the time we can't read what it says, but we'll figure it out. And I mean, she's been my mom for so long that like it's like her own language at this point.
Yeah, no, that's great. That is great.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the relationship would be different if cameras weren't involved? Do you still feel that it's a transactional relationship, or have you totally moved on from that?
Honestly, I don't feel like our relationship is transactional anymore. I don't feel like she just buys me things because she just wants to see my love or whatever. So no, I don't feel like it's transactional anymore. I feel like it's definitely gotten better.
Good.
For sure.
That's so good to hear. You guys you've put it. I mean, how do you feel like you have healed from this? Like, what? I mean,
I feel like in a way of like where our relationship now is definitely healing my inner child a bit, just because like where we are now is just such a loving mom, and like she texted me the other day just telling me like how proud she was of me and everything, and it's just like it's definitely like healing my inner child because like it's good for my mom, like for me to hear my mom say that, you know, because I haven't heard it in so long, so it's good for it to come from her.
I'm glad you're getting that. I really am. I think that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Do you still worry about her though? Like you said, she's 3 years sober, almost 4 years sober. Does that ever in the back of your mind anymore?
Honestly, no. Like at first, 100%. I can say like the first year or two, 100%. I was like, what if it happens? But now it's like I don't think it's even a thought in my mind, just because of how anti-drug she is now. Like she doesn't like any drugs. She doesn't smoke cigarettes. She doesn't do alcohol. Like literally nothing. She doesn't do it. Like she hates it. So I'm very proud of her, and I don't even think that's like a concern for me.
Sure.
Anymore.
How did you kind of avoid all of that? The pitfalls of fame, and you know.
I don't know. I think it was good to see my mom go through it, just because it was a good representation of somewhere I never want to be in life. So I think it was more of like almost like a role model to like never do that.
Sure. Yeah, no, good for you. Were you ever tempted? I mean, because
I've never ever even been tempted to even try a drug, to do any of that. So, I mean, I don't know. I just don't think I would ever do it. It's like, oh, why would I put that in my body?
Sure, no, definitely. What I love about this movie, too, is seeing your relationship with Pumpkin.
Yes.
And I think it's so wonderful that you had such a strong role model of a sister, too, to be there for you and really kind of help you.
Yeah, me and Pumpkin are super close. I think we're the closest out of, like, all the sisters.
Yeah.
And I think that has a lot to do with, like, obviously she became my mom at one point. So we got really, really close then, and I mean, ever since, we've just been so close.
Yeah. Do you still consider her like a mother figure to you
honestly,
in a way?
Yeah. Like, I literally on Mother's Day, I sent her a Mother's Day gift, just like I sent my mom a Mother's Day gift. So, like, I would definitely consider her, like, mama number 2.
No, definitely. I am, you know, I was so sorry to hear about your sister, and I know that obviously that shakes the family to its core, and you know, you never get over something like that. You're just constantly healing in some sort of way. How did that kind of shift your family and shift your perspective?
This might sound bad to say, but I think in a way it shifted it in a good way, and for the better almost. Yeah. Just because, like, of course we didn't want to see Anna pass, of course, but I think ever since then we've just been so much closer as a family. I feel like we really realized that people can go any day and people can leave this earth really, really early. So I think we're just not taking any moments for granted, and we're just trying to be as close as possible and just spend as much time together as a family and just, at the end of the day, not take things for granted.
1,000%. I mean, yeah, it definitely puts everything in perspective.
For sure, for sure. And then just like how fast it just progressed with her cancer and everything. It's just, that was definitely an eye opener for all of us.
I'm sure she'd be so happy to see that you are all in this great place.
I believe she would too. I think she'd be so happy to just see like where Caitlin is.
I was gonna say, how's she doing?
She's been doing great. Good. Like, she used to struggle in school a lot, and obviously she struggled more when her mom had passed away, because I mean, I could never even imagine.
No.
So, but she's just gotten so much better in school. She's making new friends, and she's just like such a good spot right now. Like, I'm very proud of her too.
What's it like seeing your mom take care of?
Seeing Mama take care of Caitlin is, I think, also healing my inner child a bit.
Sure, yeah, she's kind of getting a do-over.
Yeah, and it's almost like she's doing it right this time. Like, she's not messing up this time, and I do think that has a lot to do, like I said, with Justin. I feel like Justin very much keeps her head on straight and just makes sure that she's doing what she needs to with Caitlin and making sure that Caitlin's at school every day and everything like that. And I mean, at the end of the day, like, they're doing great, honestly.
Good.
They're doing a lot better than I expected, for sure.
That's a great thing to hear. Is it fun to film now again with your family?
I mean, it is fun, and I always feel like it's been fun to film with my family. I think it's more of, like, just fun and not really like a job at the end of the day. I just have a good time, you know?
Yeah.
And don't take it too serious.
Don't take it too serious. Not at all. And like we said, that you were in college, you were doing great. You were still with Draylin, and you guys are doing fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. So how did your, like, seeing your mom or anything like that, did views on marriage or motherhood change for you at all?
I mean, it was definitely hard to see my mom like that, and I think in a way it kind of helped me to just know, like, where I never want to be in life again.
Sure.
It's like I never want to have a man like my mom did growing up, or I never want to be the mom that my mom was growing up, if I'm being honest. I want to be better for my kids and when I do have kids, and I want to have a better man just for myself, just because I know I deserve much more.
Yeah, and it seems like he treats you very well.
Yes, he's great.
I love the double nose ring.
Thank
What kind of inspired this look?
I've had it for so long.
Okay.
I don't know. I got one side done, and I was like, I think I want to get the other side. But I've had it for a long time, like before I even moved to Colorado.
Yeah, I love that so much. When you eventually become a mom, are you going to put your daughter in pageants if you have a daughter?
Honestly, I don't know. I got asked this question, and I feel like I would, but if like my daughter is not into it, I'm not going to force her to do anything that she doesn't want to do.
Definitely. And then finally, Alana, when people do watch this movie from start to finish, how are you hoping they feel once it all wraps up?
I'm hoping everybody just like, maybe their perspective changed on me. I feel like a lot of people, like I said, they think they know me, but my story is completely different. Yeah. So I'm hoping that like now people really truly know me, and they know what I've been through. And I mean, I don't want no sympathy from this, because like, I mean, I've already done it. I've been through it. But I do want people to know that like they're not alone, and drug addiction is very much something that happens every day in today's world. So I want people to know that they're not alone, and everybody just goes through things. Just because I'm a celebrity doesn't mean that I don't go through everyday things.
Yeah, no, totally. And I think people forget about that too.
Yes.
And I think you see that in the movie, since like, cause you're out and you're about in your neighborhood, and people like kind of like will look at you, or if you see it on a cover of a tabloid or things like that, like you're a real person too, going through real life things.
And I think a lot of people just forget that when you're famous, that they're real people. They're just like you and just like everybody else.
Sure,
you know, I put my pants on just like you do in the morning.
And you know what? And it's nice to see that your mom is sober and doing well, because you know, it's great. It is great to see.
Very rewarding for sure. Just to see like, even where she was a few years ago to like where she is today is very rewarding.
Yeah, because I'm sure at times you were very, very concerned about her.
Yeah, and there was times like I didn't even know if I would wake up and have a mom the next morning, you know? So it's very good to see where she is now, and I'm very, very proud of her.